we're going to be going over some simple tips for you to get good measurements at home because it's the end of the month and I encourage you to see where you are right now so that you can get some results going forward in February. I know January was hard for a lot of people. Stepping on the scale, taking measurements, starting a workout plan, starting nutrition, and that kind of thing was not really something at the front of your mind. But now people are getting more motivated and getting more inspired and more determined. And I want to be a resource for you and help encourage you along your journey. So we are live on Haps. We're live on Haps. If you are leaving comments on some other platforms right now, I might not see them, but please feel free to comment. Comment now. Comments do pop up over on Haps sometimes when I'm out from the other broadcast. So please feel free to comment. If you are on Haps, click the little button. Let me know where you're coming in from and say hello as we get started together. So first of all, if you didn't see the broadcast from a couple of days ago where I was talking about different ways that you can track your progress at home, please go back and check it out because a lot of people don't want to use a measuring tape, right? We don't want to use a scale, and we definitely don't want to put something around us and measure our circumference. And I gave several tips as to other things that you can do. They're really simple, that don't require using the tape, writing down the numbers, and that kind of tracking. So definitely go check that out. Hey, Yvonne from San Antonio, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you. And if you have some goals for February or just for this new year in regards to your health and fitness, maybe weight loss, maybe it's weight gain, let me know. Leave me a comment. Not everybody is looking to lose weight, but most people that I talk to have gained some weight from last year or just in general have, that creeping obesity, guys, that 5 pounds that comes on throughout the year and then adds up to be now you're an extra 20 pounds overweight or an extra 30 pounds overweight. Just 5 pounds a year in 4 years is 20 pounds. Holy cow. Hey, Brenda, I'm so glad that you're here from Evansville. Okay, so look, let's get started. I have what's called a Gulick measuring tape, so it actually will has a little button, and then you can just let it retract. I can't think about what I'm saying. And then there's your old-fashioned measuring tape. So any of these will work. Whatever you have, you can buy one for probably $1 if you don't have one. But I want you to make sure you look at it and make sure that you start in the right place when you are taking your measurements. And then also make sure that you're using the right side of the tape. Some people do want to measure in centimeters, but I recommend that you just measure in inches. And then we're going to get to the nearest quarter or eighth of an inch. Eighth of an inch is even better if you can. Yvonne is training for a half marathon. Wow. Next year. Okay. Conditioning right now. Good. Okay. Awesome. You are probably not having to worry too much about body fat, but guys, I mean, sometimes it's just even that last 5 pounds that, women especially seem to have a problem with, or that last 10 pounds. So even if you are, and it's all relative. So even if you're only looking to lose 5 or 10 pounds, depending on your current size, that could, be something that's noticeable for you. If you are a 200-pound person and, you lose 5 pounds, you may not notice it as much. So, but what I wanted to show you is you want to make sure that you find out where the zero starts on the tab, because with this one, the zero starts right here, okay, right at the edge. But on this tape, you can see that it has an extended tab and the zero actually starts here. So it's, it's not rocket science, but it's just something that sometimes people aren't aware of. And since I teach personal training certification classes, I teach personal trainers how to take really good circumference measurements on their clients. And I'm just telling you things that people get confused about, okay? that seem obvious, but not always. 5 pounds makes a difference on your knees. Since you're short, exactly. 5 pounds, I mean, I feel it in my belly. So when you're running, you notice the 5 pounds. Okay, well, that's good feedback because, like I said, a lot of people, think, oh, you only want to lose 10 pounds, or whatever, but it's all relative to somebody's size and like their height. So you want to make sure that you are at your ideal body weight for you. And using the height weight chart is not always the best guide. So one way you can track your progress is using measurements. So let's go for it. Today I'm going to show you things to be thinking about and then some of the most common sites. I think there's about 7 sites that we're going to go through because 3 of them are right in here. Okay? But the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have on something that is fitted, but that's not like pushing you in. Okay, so you want to have on maybe some leggings or shorts or something, but not with a lot of material. And then you also don't want to have something that's really compression and sucking you in too much, because then you're not, even though standing on the scale isn't a problem, but taking the circumference measurements and you're compressed in your stomach because you've got on some kind of compression tights, you're not going to get an accurate measurement. And you also don't want on like anything heavy or bulky, like a sweatshirt or anything that's thick material, any jeans or anything that's going to be interfere with the circumference around the waist. So just look in your closet and try to find something. It may be something that you don't want to wear out, but you can still do your measurements for yourself in them. So I'm going to start on the inch side, and I'm going to start, the first one, we're going to do 2 at the upper body, at the chest. So what you want to do first is you want to be in front of a mirror. You really need to be in front of a mirror for sure because of the fact that you are trying to do them on yourself. Now, if you can have a friend do it with you or something like that, then that's even better as long as they're doing it accurately as well. So I'm looking in a mirror over here in the corner. You can't see it, but I can also see myself in the picture. So what you want to do for the first one is we're going to the upper chest. So just write that down, upper chest. And that means above the fullest portion of the chest. So above the fullest portion of the breast. But what this is going to do is going to help to get the any body fat that we have underneath our arm. Okay? You know that fat that hangs over kind of the bra area or under the arm or the tank top? That's what we're really going for right here. So you're going to take the tape around, and again, doing it on yourself is a little trickier than if I were having someone and I was standing here measuring them. But since we're trying to socially distance, you can definitely still do this at home. So the second thing you want to look for is you want to make sure that the tape is straight. The tape must be straight, and you want to look around to the back and make sure it's straight, and then look at the front and make sure that it's straight. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that it's not pulled too tight. You don't want it pulled too tight, and you don't want it too loose. So we want it snug. Now, because that holding out my arms and doing all this stuff that I'm doing with my arms makes a difference on this measurement, I want to have my elbows down. So again, I'm taking it on myself. Just breathe normally, inhale and exhale, pull it snug, and then look at the measurement, okay? And then you can kind of mark it with your finger, and then bring it around, and then, write it down. So just, again, upper chest. Now, from here, real simple, you're just going to slide the tape down, and let me know if you have any questions. Slide the tape down, And then you're going to go down to the fullest portion of the chest. So you're going to move the tape to the fullest portion of the chest and do the same thing. You're going to glance around, make sure that the tape is parallel to the floor, that it's straight. Sometimes the tape will get turned over. Sometimes the tape will be down in the back or up in the front. And so you have to really keep glancing around. I mean, when I'm taking somebody's measurement, I'm standing at their side, I'm glancing around and around, and I'm just making sure that that tape is straight, and then you're able to get the measurement, okay? Pull it snug, not too tight, and then write down the measurement. Now, the next measurement, these three are going to be at the torso. You don't have to do all three, but a lot of people are very interested as to if they're changing in this area. And so that's why I came up with just doing three on most people in this area. It depends though. It depends on if I'm going to be able to get the same exact location each time. So that's the most important thing with all of these measurements is getting the same exact location each time. So the first one that you should start with, and maybe the only one you do, is right at the navel, because you know that right at your belly button, your navel, that you can go back to that as a landmark and go directly around the body from that one location. So I'm going to bring the tape down. I'm just going to hold the end of the tape right at the belly button, and then I'm just going to wrap around. And that's what I would have a client do too. I would say, put your finger right on your belly, and then your navel, and then you just wrap it right around. Okay? I'm going to stand, I'm going to look around, I'm going to make sure that it's straight, and then again, I'll come down in case it's harder to see since I'm standing too far back. But I'm pulling it snug, but not too tight. And then that way you can readjust if you need to slide it down a little bit and that kind of thing. Okay, so that would be the third location. Now, for some people, there is a narrow part of the waist or a narrowing part of the waist, and you can put your hand, it's usually higher than the belly button. So if you find that you have a point that's the most narrow, then you can measure that too. And so you would just put your hands here and go, pull your shirt down as much as you can so that it's not gathered up. And then you would measure around that narrowest part. And so you do the same thing. Same thing. Make sure the tape is straight, make sure that it's flat, make sure it's parallel to the floor. Look around. Inhale, exhale, take the measurement. I mean, you don't want to take the measurement when you're like, sucking in, okay? And then and so we just exhale normally and naturally, and then take the measurement without pulling the tape too snug. So that's 4 sites. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Hey, Yassine from St. Petersburg. We're taking measurements. So the next measurement, and this is one that, especially my ladies, they are most interested in. And so I kind of didn't come up with this, but I started including this in a lot of my measurements, is 1 inch below the belly button. So that covers that lower belly pooch, if you will, or that lower belly fat area that so many get frustrated about. So again, these are areas where it's important that you're not wearing spandex pants that are too tight or sucking you in too much, because a lot of the leggings and stuff that are designed right now really pull all this in more, which is nice. But remember, we want to make sure that we're getting true measurements, and you want to wear the same clothes the next time you measure. That would be another good tip. So what you do here is I'm not going to pull my shirt up and do all that, but you could pull your shirt up. You want to make sure and kind of eyeball out an inch, and if you're not sure what an inch is, it's right here. So you could figure what would be approximately an inch. Usually it's the peak of that area, and that's where it is on me. It's the peak, usually, of that belly fat that might be underneath your navel. And that's what I'm finding, that it's about an inch on me, because I do have a little pooch there. Okay, so, and then you just do the same thing. You look around the back, make sure that it's straight, look around the front, and turn around. And, again, have your mirror, and then you can look down and get that measurement. Inhale, exhale. Pull the tape snug, but not too tight. And then you can look, and again, we're trying to get to the nearest quarter of an inch, preferably even the nearest eighth of an inch, if you could do that, because an eighth of an inch could make a difference in the numbers. Okay, so those are three right here at the midsection. And I know I'm making this look easy, even on myself, but I've been taking a lot of measurements. And so I've taken a lot of measurements on different bodies and body sizes. So it does take some practice, but you can learn to do it on yourself, okay? Like I said the other day in the video, even if you have a string, like a long piece of string, and you don't have a measuring tape and you don't want to know any numbers, you can still take that string and put it around your waist and put a mark on that string and see if you get a change next month when you measure again, okay, or mid-month, whenever or whatever your plan is. Now, let's go to, so that was 1, 2 at the top, 3, so that's 5. We're going to do 2 more real quick, and then I'm going to end, okay? It's going a little bit longer than I thought. I want to make this a little shorter, but so fullest portion of the hips, So that's where a lot of people want some information as to if they're gaining or losing or what they're doing. So you've got to go, again, with the fullest portion. That's your landmark, the fullest portion. And if you're trying to lose weight, hopefully that will decrease. But you've got to use that as your initial landmark. Now, right now, I've got the tape turned over, so it's turned in the back. So I've got to make sure that I flip it around and get to where I'm on inches only. There we go. And then this one's going to get a little harder to get exactly right. So you got to go look in the mirror, and again, get over the fullest portion of the buttocks. So the fullest portion of the back side, the gluteals. Okay, and then again, in an ideal world, you would be standing completely straight, and somebody would be doing it, but you're going to have to pull it kind of snug and then look down at the number yourself. But again, making sure it's straight. Yeah, the string method, and you can do the string method for any part of your body. And that way, because I have people that don't want to see the numbers. And so I take the measurements and I write down the numbers. But if we're doing it virtually right now, or just for some of my clients that I may never see in person, I have a lot of clients that are online or Zoom from different parts of the world, or the United States especially. And so we want for you to be able to track your progress too, aside from just the scale, because the scale isn't always the best way to track your measurements. Now, let's go to one more, and then if there's any others that you want me to do, I can show you that as well. But this is going to be the thigh, and there's some different ways to make sure you're getting the exact same spot on someone's thigh. A lot of times they'll say, oh, just the fullest portion of the quad, the fullest portion of the thigh. But sometimes eyeballing is a little tough. So what I recommend you do, since you're doing it at home on your own, that you just go on one side, preferably the right side or your dominant side, and then you take the string or the measuring tape between your legs, and you are going to go right up underneath the gluteal fold. So that's right here where the butt muscle, and then you can kind of becomes the leg. So So right under that crease, you're going to make sure that you go directly around the leg right there, okay? And, you know, make sure you're not doing any of this stuff or whatever, that you are standing up as straight as you can, even though you're going to have to look down. And so I'm making sure that it's straight around. Okay, I don't have it hiked up like this or anything like that, but you're still getting that top portion of the thigh and right underneath the butt muscle, the glute, and then you can take the measurement there, okay? Pull snug, but not too tight. So that's another one people are interested in. If you can do the bicep. Now, if I were to do my bicep right now, that would be one of the hardest ones to do on myself, because I'd have to, it's just, you know, that's going to be too hard to probably do on myself. You can do the calf. Some people, especially men, want to measure their neck. You can measure forearm. I mean, you can really measure anything you want on your body, but I'm showing you some sites that people are most interested in. And what I recommend you do is take at least 3 and do them yourself and track right now and see how you come out next month. I'd recommend doing 1 from the upper body, and then 1 or 2 in the midsection, and then 1 in this area. So either the full circumference of the hips or that one thigh if you wanted to do that one. Okay. Hey, Sassy, thanks for jumping on. So we're at the end of the broadcast. It's been about 20 minutes, so I'm going to jump off. But I was doing circumference measurements. So go back and check out the replay. I showed exact information on how you can measure yourself. I did 7 locations. You can use an old-fashioned. I've had this measuring tape for no telling how long. It's extremely old. I remember when I used to measure myself with this when I was trying to lose a little bit of more weight. Yeah, watch the replay and leave comments. So I was showing exactly how to do all the locations, and just, you know, the main thing is, guys, making sure that you have on the right kind of clothes, a mirror, and keeping the tape straight. Keeping the tape straight, because it's real easy to maybe have it down a little bit in the back and up a little bit in the front. And honestly, the most important thing is making sure that you have a landmark that you're going to be able to duplicate that same site the next time you take it. And so that's why I was showing you these exact locations. Upper chest is right under the arm. Fullest portion of the chest, narrowest portion of the chest, waist, belly button, navel, 1 inch under the navel, fullest portion of the butt for the hips, and then right underneath the gluteal fold for the thigh. All right, good. Okay, well, I hope this was helpful. And don't be afraid to take your measurements. It's better to know what they are and just work a plan to get better results if you're not happy with them. If you are happy with them, then that's great. I know some people that are a little bit overweight, but they still feel good, they're healthy, they are working out, they're eating healthy, and you know, they're not concerned about their measurements. And then other people, they step on the scale, it's not shifting, people get frustrated, they want to throw in the towel, it's too hard, it's not working. But you can get results. It just takes consistency and time. And what I see with most people is they can be consistent for a little while, and then something throws them off, and then it's harder to kind of restart or get back on and get back in that mindset. So that's why you want to make sure that you have a strong reason that you are doing this. You know, a strong reason that you want to reduce a few inches. A strong reason why you want to eat healthier or start your exercise program. And remember, it may not feel good at first, but then later, when you start seeing the results, it's going to be so exciting that it can literally be life changing. And I've seen that happen for a lot of people, and would love to see that happen for you if that is your wish. So definitely get in touch. There will be a master class starting soon that I want you guys to know about if you're interested in, on tips on getting going, getting started, continuing forth on your journey, evaluating whether or not what you're doing right now is working for you. If it is, definitely keep going and stay encouraged and inspired. So if you like these kind of broadcasts, I would love for you to subscribe, and let's get connected. So have a great Saturday, everybody. I'll see you next time.